What would you do after waking up in a burning train? I was on the 605 Express, a commute so routine it felt like part of my DNA. I was dead to the world, leaning against the window, when the planet decided to punch me in the face. There was no screeching of brakes, just a sound like a mountain being ground into dust, and then, heat. I woke up staring at a ceiling that was melting like candle wax. The air wasn't air anymore. It was thick, black wool that burned my throat with every gasp. The car was tilted at a 45-degree angle, and the only light came from the orange glow of the engine car turning into a funeral pyre. I wasn't alone. In the chaos of the tilted carriage, a man in a $3,000 suit was frantically digging through the overhead bin. He wasn't helping the elderly woman pinned by a luggage rack or the teenager looking for his glasses. He was screaming about his proprietary laptop and blocking the only viable emergency exit with his designer luggage. To him, we were just organic clutter obstructing his high-value assets. He actually looked at me, covered in soot and blood, and told me to get a move on, because his data was worth more than the entire train. I didn't give him a lecture on corporate ethics. I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the wall, smashed the emergency glass, and when he tried to push past me with his briefcase, I used his high-value luggage as a stepping stone to help the mother and child behind him out of the window. I left him in the smoke, screaming about his warranty. We hit the gravel just as the secondary fuel lines decided to join the party. The explosion was so loud it felt like it reorganized my ribs. The real fire, however, started a week later. The rail company sent a care package to my hospital room. It contained a $500 gift card and a voluntary release form. They called the collision, which killed 4 people, a logistical variance caused by unforeseen atmospheric conditions. They wanted me to sign away my right to talk about the brakes that hadn't been serviced in 3 years. I didn't sign. I called the guy in the $3,000 suit. It turns out his proprietary data was actually the internal audit he'd stolen from the firm, the one proving the board had diverted the safety budget into their own year-end bonuses. He wasn't a hero. He was a coward who'd been trying to run with the evidence. I made him a deal. I'd keep his name out of the theft headlines if he handed over the drive. We didn't just sue the company, we dismantled it. By the time we were done, the CEO's passive income was being used to fund a statewide rail safety overhaul, and the logistical variance became a landmark criminal case. Today, I don't take the train. I drive a car I bought with the settlement money, and I never, ever sleep through a commute. Because the only thing more dangerous than a burning train is the person who thinks their briefcase is worth more than your life.